Oh my god, it's been about 10 months since I've done one of these things. I decided I'm going to come back and start trying to do these once or twice a month again. But this is another episode of R&R. I am your host, DKS3A. And for all the newer subscribers and all the newer people who don't know what R&R is, it's where I pick a particular topic in video games, lore, land, and I rant about it, which is the first R. Then at the end, I give you a couple things to vote on or rate on or what kind of stuff, and that's the second R, so rant and rate. And I've done like zombie games, overrated games, all kind of stuff. I've done anything from Jack Thompson, all kind of stuff. But I would consider this maybe the start of season 2 because that is a new one. And the episode for this one, Shaq-Fu 2. So for all you newer people, and for all the younger people who don't quite know what Shaq-Fu is, and you probably wonder what the fuck's Shaq-Fu. Shaq-Fu was a Super Nintendo Sega Genesis game that came out in like 1995, and it stars Shaquille O'Neal, who was a very popular basketball player at the time, and it's a fighting game. Now that doesn't sound crazy enough. I mean, he gets stuck. He's going to a charity basketball game. He goes to a dojo and he gets sucked up into an alternate dimension, and it's a big fighting game. And that doesn't sound weird enough too. This game has been considered one of the worst games of all time, and it's not because of the story. I mean, the story is kind of hokey, but I've seen some worse stories, all kind of stuff. It's the controls. The controls are so bad on this game. It's like some of the worst controls you can ever see. Like half the shit's unresponsive. It's jerky. It's hard to pull off moves. I mean, Shaq's moves are like fucking insane to pull off, and with the unresponsive controllers, it just makes it fucking almost impossible to pull off at times. Anyway, we're here recently, and alright, anyway, more on Shaq-Fu. Shaq-Fu was so bad that there's this group of people who are paying people. I mean, it was considered one of the worst games of all time. They were paying people money to get their copies of Shaq-Fu, to destroy them, because they're trying to get every copy of Shaq-Fu and destroy it, so the world will never have to see Shaq-Fu ever again. So, I mean, this is how bad this game is. But here recently, like a few days ago, Shaq made a surprise appearance at a video game convention, and he was sitting there talking, and he announced that Shaq-Fu 2 is in development. What the fuck? Shaq-Fu was considered one of the worst games of all time. Why the fuck do they need to make a second Shaq-Fu? And a lot of people thought he was maybe joking, and maybe this wasn't true and all kind of stuff, but after doing a little bit of research, the people who sponsor Shaq and the people who actually did the first Shaq-Fu and all kind of stuff actually have submitted some domains and some took care of some copyrights and everything for a Shaq-Fu 2. So they've got all the copyrights, they got everything they ever need and stuff like that for a second Shaq-Fu, which can only assume that Shaq-Fu 2 is coming and it's going to be in development. And Shaq said himself that Shaq-Fu 2 is in development. All I gotta say is, what the fuck? Why in the fuck would you make a Shaq-Fu 2? We didn't even need a Shaq-Fu 1. I mean, Shaq-Fu 1, is, as I said, is one of the worst games in fucking video game history. There's a group of people paying to play, to buy the game from people, so they can destroy the copies of the game, and they'll destroy the copies of the game, so the world would be rid of Shaq-Fu. Why in the fuck in y'all's right mind do y'all think a Shaq-Fu 2 would be a good idea if this first Shaq-Fu it was such a horrible idea, and it's so negatively frowned upon and considered one of the worst games of all time, why the fuck would y'all even think Shaq-Fu 2 is even a blip on the radar of a good idea? It just doesn't make any sense. And Shaq was like, oh man, you gotta check out some of the graphics. You're gonna be able to check out some of the graphics. It's gonna be a modern day Shaq-Fu. You're gonna be all that kind of stuff. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares if it's gonna be a modern 3D fucking Shaq-Fu? If the company who made the first Shaq-Fu is apparently making the second one, if it's true, and they couldn't make a decent game out of a fucking paper bag with the first one on the SNES Sega Genesis era, what makes you fucking think they're going to make a good one in the PS4, Xbox One, Wii U era? It's fucking ridiculous. Controls are probably going to be just as unresponsive. Everything's probably just going to be so bad as it was in the first one. That people it'll probably sell because people probably just out of morbid curiosity want to play the game. And you know that when it's all said and done, it's probably going to be very negatively frowned upon and negatively like treated as negatively as the first game, which means that that it's going to be that same group that's trying to destroy all the first Shaq-Fu movies, games are probably going to get together and try to destroy all the copies of the Shaq-Fu 2 experience, because Shaq-Fu 2 shouldn't even exist. I mean, Shaq-Fu 1 was bad enough, but Shaq-Fu 2 is going to be a fucking abomination. It shouldn't even be in the discussions of its existence, much less possibly actually happening. It looks like it is going to happen. I mean, they've got all the copyright trademarks, they got everything, they got the domain name. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, are we actually that low of running out of video games that we need to make a fucking Shaq-Fu 2? Are y'all fucking serious? This is fucking crazy. I can't fathom in my mind what the hell are these people thinking. Shaq-Fu 2. And here's the thing, I've played Shaq-Fu. And Shaq-Fu is, I mean, it is bad as what people say it is, but I mean, if you don't play with Shaq, some of the characters are actually decent to play with. I mean, I could probably see it as a lot of people's list, but it's not it's not the worst game ever made. I mean, it's up there, but there's no fucking reason to have a fucking Shaq-Fu 2. It just blows my mind. And it's fucking insane that it's even on the blip of the radar of it even existing. I don't know what these people are thinking, but I hope to God that this is just like a big elaborate hoax and Shaq-Fu 2 doesn't even happen. Because if it is, the world of video games is just going to be I mean, I don't know. It's just going to put a big, huge stain on the name of video games. And I don't want to see that happen. Because, as y'all know, I'm a huge video game fan. But Shaq-Fu 2 is really going to put a bad name on video games if it does come into effect. Okay, guys. Now, this is the rate part of the episode. Like I said, this is for the new people. I'll take two things, you vote on which one likes better, and then on the next episode, I reveal the winner after I start my next topic and stuff. Anyway, this week's topic is, who do you like better? Which one do you like better now that they're both out? PlayStation 4 or Xbox One? Leave your comments and your votes and stuff down below. And this has been another episode of R&R. I'm glad to be back. Like I said, I'm going to try to come out with one of these once or twice a month. And I said, consider this the start of season 2 now. So, anyway, this has been another episode of R&R. I am your humble host, DKS3A. Have a good day.